eyeliners, they can be quite difficult to put on, especially when you're trying to make them even. Let me know if you know where that's from. So today I have the Maybelline Lasting Drama Pen Gel Liner, and I mentioned this in my Benefits They're Real push-up liner. So I did a separate review on this a couple months ago, and I mentioned that the design and everything else was similar to the Maybelline Pen Gel Liner. A viewer and YouTuber, Stephanie, from Singapore sent me this liner to try out because it's not available here in the States. She also has a YouTube channel, My Steppiness, and I'll link it below. And she was nice enough to send me this liner to try out, and I thought I would do a comparison with these two liners because they're very, very similar. So they both are roughly the same size. This one obviously is a bit thicker because it's squared off, but this is more the standard round one. I'll start off talking about the Maybelline. The Maybelline Lasting Drama, it says flexible soft edge brush, 36-hour lasting power, most intense lines ever, waterproof and smudge proof. The Benefit one says it's foolproof, budge proof, long wearing, waterproof. Basically they're both claiming the same thing. So with the Benefit eyeliner, it has the AccuFlex tip, and I put a stopper in here. The Maybelline one also twists out. It has very similar design. So comparing the brushes, the Benefit one is a lot larger and a lot more slanted, and it's a bit pointier. As for the Maybelline one, it's a bit more slightly slanted and more rounded. The openings are pretty much the same, and for the softness, the Benefit one is a bit more, I guess, bendy or flimsy compared to the Maybelline one. So far they're quite similar, but when it comes to the formula, they're actually quite different. So I'll start with the Benefit one. You click it on the bottom to release the product. With the Benefit, the formula is more on the drier side, and so you have to work quite quickly with this. The color is a dark black and it's matte. So same thing goes with the Maybelline, you just click it to release the product. The texture of the Maybelline one is more like a true gel liner. This one, the texture just glides on so smooth, and at first it looks like it's has a shiny finish, but it dries matte just like the Benefit one. So the Benefit one, it is already matte when it comes out, but this one has a shine. It comes out shiny, but it dries matte. So the Benefit one is on top and the Maybelline one is on the bottom. What I noticed is that as both of them dry, the Benefit one, it's still an intense black, but it turns more to like a very dark charcoal color. As for the Maybelline one, it dries, it actually looks a bit darker as it dries. So as for intensity, the Maybelline one is a lot darker. Formula wise, the Benefit one is a bit drier, so you have to work with it a lot quicker, and it seems like it just dries instantly. As for the Maybelline one, just like any like fluid gel liner that glides on smooth, it takes a while for it to dry. But as both of them dries, they're actually both smudge proof. As for being waterproof, they are both pretty much waterproof as well. Texture wise, since the Benefit one is a bit more on the drier side, if you feel it, it has more like a bumpy texture. As for the Maybelline one is completely smooth as a gel liner should be, but the Benefit one is on the thicker side, so it feels a bit bumpy, which can be a bad thing because at the end of the day, those bumps can clump up and start flaking off. So I'm going to apply both of them on my eyes. I'm going to start out with the Benefit on my left eye. The Benefit eyeliner, I had time to play around with it. When I did my first impression on it, I found it extremely difficult to use. But the more you play around with it, the easier it is. I do still have a problem with having a nice crisp line. I have to still go over it a couple of times to get a nice clean line. I have my eyeliner on. For my right eye, I'm going to be using the Maybelline. The Maybelline one just glides right on. It goes on so smooth. Because the formula is more fluid, it's easier to make a cleaner line with the Maybelline one. And I also noticed because the brush is a little bit shorter, it's easier to get a sharper line as well. I don't think my wings are even, but oh well. Testing it out and applying it, the Maybelline one is a lot easier to use and it just glides on a lot better. It's more forgiving than compared to the Benefit one, which is a lot drier and a lot harder to work with on the lids. The formula in the Maybelline liner is more like a true gel liner. As for the consistency, is more fluid-like, more creamy, like you would get in a pot. The Benefit's formula reminds me of when you have a gel liner and it's about to dry out. That's what it reminds me of. Like, you know, after you have the gel liner for a couple months, it starts to dry out, and that's what it reminds me of. But they're both smudge proof, they're both waterproof. So far, none of the liners have creased. But I'm going to wear the liner for the rest of the day, and I'll check back with the longevity of both of the liners and see which one comes on top. I made Jjajangmyeon kimchi for dinner. It's hot. I think my eyeliner is still in place though. It's been almost a little over 8 hours and I was sweating. I was cooking and I was sweating. I had to change because my pits were, my pits were like, gotta air it out. The aligners held up pretty well. There is a clear winner. Both of the liners look pretty good from far away, but let's look up close. I didn't wear any mascara or anything like that, but let's look at the Benefit one. And you can see this happened in my review as well, that it's starting to flake off and it's in big chunks. What I meant by like crumbly and bumpy, that's how it looks up close. So as long as I don't really open my eyes, other than that, it stayed on pretty well. As for the Maybelline one, it's starting to just a little bit flake on my inner corners right there, but for the most part, it stayed on pretty well and there is no creasing. This one has, I can't really say this one is creasing because it's mostly just flaking off, but this one stayed on really well. So the battle between the gel pen liners, Benefit Reveal, and Maybelline's Lasting Drama, Maybelline wins by far in terms of lasting power, consistency, easier to use. The formula is a lot better, easier to work with, more forgiving, lasting a lot longer, doesn't flake as bad as the Benefit one. At least for me, I can see it has a more richer color than the Benefit one. The Maybelline one did come out a year or two before the Benefit liner, and the only thing is that this is not available here in the States. This is an international one. I think you could find it in Europe and Asia, but not here in the States. I looked on Amazon and the pricing for this should be under $10 because Maybelline is a drugstore brand, but they upped the price. The shipping was more than the price for this liner. I don't know about eBay, which the Benefit one retails for $24, and it sucks because, you know, this should be quite cheap, but online it's like $20 online. I have a detailed review on the Benefit liner and I'll link it below, and my feelings for this are quite the same. I'm quite neutral about it. It could be a lot better, but definitely this liner is something that I will grab, and since it's more like a gel liner in a pen form, it's so much easier to use and it glides on. Definitely something I will reach for a quick wing liner, compared to the Benefit one takes forever to put on. Let me know what you guys think if you guys have tried either or of these pen gel liners. So I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye! I hope I don't have gochugaru in my teeth.